Hello, welcome to Sunspiration. My name is Victor Tarfa and today is Sunday. I'm so excited to bring you a wonderful edition of Sunspiration. In case you're watching for the first time, Sunspiration is inspiration from the Holy Bible. I love reading the stories out there, and I love the fact that in the Bible, every verse you read can have so many different meanings to it. But obviously, we can always learn from it in so many different ways. And it's like an answer to almost every question we have in this world. And that's why I call it the manual in which we were given when the human being was created. So you're looking for any answers? Just search in there. So this month, I've been looking at 3 powerful questions. But obviously, it's the third question I'm focusing on every single time. And the question is, what do you want? We're at the beginning of the year. Everyone is setting goals. Everyone is chasing different things. But what is that one ultimate desire that you really want from your heart? And also, where can you get it? You know, when you think of something, oh, I want to get Coke, you got to think, where do I get the Coke? Do I have it in the fridge or do I have to go to the shop? You've got to go to the shop, you have to decide what shop do I need to go to. So it's not just knowing what you want, it's about where you're going to get it. And finally, who will show you the way? How are you going to find a way to get there? If you're not sure where to get it from, let's say you're in a brand new city, you've never been down there before. The thought is, who can I call? Who can I ask? Can I Google it? Where can I search to find answers of where I can go and get this wonderful thing? This is my powerful desire that I actually want. And in this context, I'm looking at human beings because I believe that there's nothing new on the face of the earth, and actually it comes from the Bible too. So whatever we're trying to achieve or trying to do, somebody has taken that walk before. And it's always about trying to find that person who can help you, hold your hands and get you towards there. Last week, I shared my own personal story with my great mentor, Elijah and Elisha. But this time around, I'm going to use a different person's story. And if you haven't watched last week once, I'll encourage you. It's on there on my timeline. Just step back in there and just watch it. So as we kick on today, I'm looking at the story of Elijah and Elisha. These were 2 prophets in the Bible. But before I go into Elijah and Elisha, I'll tell you a real life story. Yesterday, I watched a very inspirational video by a guy called Basket Mount. He's a Nigerian comedian. And I've known him over the years. In fact, I was quite opportune to meet him like twice, right at the beginning of his career, even before he really started anything. We went to see a friend who was at the University of Benin. And also I got to meet him at a networking event in London too. And he's such a great guy, funny guy too. And he's done so well in his career. And yesterday he shared his journey on Instagram, which I encourage everyone, just go and watch it. It was so inspiring, and I think every young person needs to watch it. And when I watched it, I thought, did this guy know I was going to talk about Elijah and Elisha today? That he's actually told his story, because I'm like, wow, this is so inspirational. It's more or less like what I was about to talk about today. So I'm going to go dive straight into it, because he spoke about how he grew his career from the beginning. And I'm going to run it side by side to tell you the story of Elijah and Elisha. Now, Elijah was a great prophet in the Bible who did very powerful things. He prayed to God and stopped the rain for years. You know, he stabbed hundreds of prophets of Baal. You know, he even had a competition with the prophets of Baal, and he asked them to wet his own wood, and he's going to pray and call fire from heaven. And he did, and it happened. So he's a guy that did so many great things. But he got to a point where he was in a corner, and he said to God, God, they've killed all your prophets. What do you want me to do? I've got no one to help me. And then God sent him out to go and find certain people. And one of the people he was sent to go and find was Elisha. Now, when he met Elisha, he put his cloak over Elisha. And when I read a bit more, I discovered that the cloak was like the most important article that they had in those days. And when I look at these days in myself, I say, what confidence does somebody have to give you these days? Somebody who is ahead of you. One of the things that they can give to you, which is really powerful, is actually their platform. When I listened to the story of Basket Mount, he met a guy called Alibaba, who was also a comedian back in the days. In fact, I can call him like the father of comedy, because he's one of the main guys who started doing comedy at a big scale in Nigeria. And he said when he saw Alibaba, he said, you know what? I need to connect with this guy. And he did everything to connect with Alibaba. And when he got to an event, he said he had to stand and hike for buses to get into the city so he can attend the events that Alibaba is at. And he said he had to get to some promoters, and finally he got to be on a stage at the same event Alibaba was going to speak. And when Alibaba finished it, he was going to do his comedy. When he performed, Alibaba saw him and thought, there's a lot in this guy. And he gave him his business card. And that's how he kicked off, riding on Alibaba's platforms, and he did very well so far. And look at the same thing. The same way Elijah put his cloak on Elisha is the same way Alibaba put his cloak on Basket Mount, and now he's done so well for himself. But he didn't just stop there, because when he put his cloak on him, he went back and he said, I'm committed to following you. So he burned his sheep, he made sacrifice with it, he created a feast and said goodbye to everybody, and he went on. It's one thing to follow someone, he gives you the direction, he gives you the platforms, and then obviously you don't stay committed to the journey they're trying to get to. You know what you want. You know where you want to get it. This person is leading you to the place that you're going to get it. And to help you fly, they put you on their platforms so you can rise. So the best thing you can do is to be committed to the journey. Because it's hurtful as a mentor. You know, when you spend your time and energy trying to lift somebody up, and then the person says not committed to the whole journey. And then it feels really bad. Because you just sort of feel, even if the person might have paid you, it just still feels like a waste of time. Because the thing about mentors is you do it passionately. You walk that road before and you're trying to hold this person's hand and drag him along. And that's why I love the story of Elisha and Elijah. Elisha dropped everything he was doing. You know, he actually burned his oxen, sacrificed them, created a feast and said goodbye because, you know, I'm committed to this journey. And finally, even when Elisha was coming to the end of his time here on earth, and people said to him several things with Elisha. They said, do you realize your master is about to be taken up to heaven? And Elisha sort of felt, yeah, I know, don't worry, I'm still going to follow him. And even though people tried to tell him, look, leave this guy alone, walk away, why are you making all these sacrifices? Because sometimes when you have a mentor, you have to make some sacrifices for that mentor. You know, either you can give him gifts or just following them or commenting on their posts or sharing their posts or using their platform appropriately or bigging them up, you know, talking about how the great things they've done for you, you know, or just helping them out in different ways. And it's going to involve service in which you might not necessarily be paid. But you know what you're getting out of the whole thing. You know that this person is spending time and energy trying to lift you up. You know what you want. You know where you need to go and get it. And this person is helping you get there. But other people will not see that. They will try and discourage you. They'll try and hold you down. They'll try and tell you, oh, what? You mean he sent you to go and do that and you went for free? How much is he paying you for this? You know, it could be upsetting sometimes. And it's the same way Elisha was told by several people. Your master's going to be taken away. Do you know, don't bother following him. And three times, Elijah said to Elisha, you know what? Why didn't you just go back? Elisha said, no, I'm following you right to the end. And he got to a point where he actually asked him, what do you want? And he said, I want double of your anointing. And that's what he asked for. You know, it's amazing because when I talk about following people here, I don't talk about following people you follow them as individuals. But one thing I know that in this world is everything on this earth that God has done on this earth, he uses a human being to achieve it. God is not physically going to come down on his own and come and do stuff. And that's why we are here on earth. That's why he gives us visions so that we can go and do, because we're all here on earth to serve at the end of the day. So God will always give someone to come and help you along your journey. So you've got to be alert and awake to the person who has been sent to you specially to help you along the way. So you've got to open your mind because you know what you want. You know where you need to get it. You need that person that God has sent to help you get there. But you've got to remember, it's not about being carried away and worshiping the person. It's about the grace on that person's life. And that's what's really important. You know, it's what that person has in his hands and the things they've done that can help you along your way. So you've got to remember, don't get carried away and start worshiping the person. Always remember that that person was created by God. And so even at this point, when Elijah said to Elisha, what do you want? He said, I want double of your anointing. And Elijah said to him, Elisha, are you sure you want this? Because the thing is, sometimes we ask for stuff, but we don't realize the trouble that comes with it. As they said, more money, more problems. As people say, I want to say problems don't mean money is bad, not in that sort of way. But you're going to have more things to think about. He's like a CEO of a company. There's so much going through his mind. He's constantly thinking, how can I grow the company? The more responsibility you carry, you know, that's the more things you're going to have to do to keep going every single day. Just like a man, when you're single, you got that's okay. When you get married, that's an upgrade to your life. But it comes with more responsibilities. Now you have to look after a wife. When you get kids, that means you're now a father and you're now a husband. So that's you've upgraded twice. But that means it's more responsibility that comes with it. And that's why when Elisha asked for double, he said, are you sure you want that? He was, yeah, I want that. And guess what? He got double. And at the end, he actually did double of the miracles that Elijah did. So I want to encourage you today. This is about lifting each other up. But you need to be in the right position. You need to be committed. When that mentor comes around and says to you, my cloak over you now, I've given you my platform, you need to be committed to ride it to the end. People are going to discourage you. They're going to tell you things. Why are you bothering? But you know you have that servant heart, and you know you're there to just serve and to grow yourself, because you know you're learning a lot from it and you're getting bigger every single day. And that's my strong encouragement for you. So the question remains, what do you want? Where do you need to go to get it? And who is going to show you the way? And you got to be ready and prepared. Now, when that person comes to show you the way, you are committed to the journey, and the journey all the way to the end. And guess what? You're going to end up with double what the last person had. So have a great week. Stay blessed. Love you all.